British seaside towns are in desperate need of better transport, housing and broadband. That's according to a parliamentary report today. And it says that young people in these coastal communities are being let down by limited access to education and to jobs. Well, our correspondent Sarah Corker is in Cleethorpes with more on this. Sarah.
Yes, Ben, on a windy day like this, there certainly aren't many people out on Cleethorpes Beach. And the isolation, the end-of-the-line feel of some of these towns can be a major challenge. And today's report said that young people living on the coast are being left behind because there's limited access to study, to further education, and there's a lack of long-term job opportunities. And that, this report said, is severely denting their aspirations.
Nothing really happens in these little towns around here. It's mostly elderly people. You do notice that you are sort of a minority.
The friends that I had made, they all moved away so they could carry on their education while I stayed.
Growing up on the edge of Britain comes with its challenges.
It's still a nice place to visit, but I think it's still dying work-wise because there's not many opportunities here anymore.
Abby has lived in Mablethorpe on the Lincolnshire coast for most of her life. She works in an arcade as well as studying.
My parents work in the same area. We all work in the same industry, but it's mainly seasonal, so we rely on the Easter 6 weeks holidays to really get the hours in.
Do you see yourself staying here in the long term?
I don't think so.
For students at the town's college, poor transport links and the cost of travel are a problem.
Last winter, the buses stopped for a couple of days, so I couldn't get in to do my maths lessons then. Some of the times, I just don't have enough money to get here. It's about £7.60 to get here and back.
A day?
A day, yeah.
There's not many places to actually come and study around Lincolnshire. You know, places have been closing down and it's harder to find the education that you want as opposed to like a bigger city.
Today's House of Lords report urges the government to prioritise improvements to the transport network, digital connectivity and further education, all to counteract the challenges of the end-of-the-line location. It recommended free transport for over 16s in education and identified poor housing as a significant issue. This town's only secondary school closed 3 years ago. Parents say children here are increasingly isolated.
We live in a deprived area and it has had a huge effect. A lot of the kids, you know, they just think we live in a dead-end town, what's the point? What's the point in us going anywhere because we can't achieve anything, because we can't get to college.
There is no single solution to these problems, but entrepreneurship can play a big role.
You've got to find opportunities wherever you are, and our opportunity was here, selling clothes.
Further up the Lincolnshire coast in Cleethorpes, the Tillett sisters run a retail business.
We've got several apprenticeships running for girls just to develop the young people who don't necessarily want to go away further afield and stay in the good old Cleethorpes and develop the skills.
The government says it recognises the challenges facing seaside towns and that by 2020 it will have invested £200 million in the Great British coast.